Okay, students, now we are starting with the very important topic of the D and F block, that is KMNO4. Okay, so here we are going to study about the mainly on preparation and properties and uses. Three parts we are going to study. The what are those preparation, properties, and uses. Okay, so in the starting only I'm telling you for KMNO4 oxidation property, for KMNO4 oxidizing property is the most important property of the KMNO4. The very advantage of KMNO4 is it can act as a oxidizing agent in acidic medium, basic medium, and alkaline medium, or and neutral medium. Okay, acidic, basic, or alkaline and neutral medium. In all medium, it can work as a oxidizing agent rather than potassium dichromate. Potassium dichromate is a good oxidizing agent only in acidic medium, but KMNO4 is a oxidizing agent in all the three medium. Hence, it is used widely and it is difficult also to remember which medium, what is the activity, what will be the product. Hence, I have made a special video how to remember the oxidizing properties of KMNO4 in different medium. That is already there in my video lecture. Okay, so I will expect everybody to watch that. For your easiness, I will give you the link in the description box. Okay, so if you are not able to trace it, you can go through the description box along with with this video. You can find it. Okay, so let's start with the KMNO4. So for any preparation method, first of all, the major thing you should know is ore. Okay, KMNO4 is manufactured from the pyrolusite ore. Pyrolusite ore is MnO2. What is the chemical formula of the pyrolusite ore? It is MnO2. And the number of steps it is prepared is two steps. Number of steps are how many? Two steps. Okay. Steps are two in quantity. And first thing is conversion of MnO2 into. In the first step, what we will do? We will convert MnO2 into. We will convert MnO2 into K2MnO4. So don't think that both are same. Here it is potassium permanganate. What it is? It is potassium permanganate. It is potassium manganate. K2MnO4 is manganate. KMnO4 is permanganate. Okay. So this is pyrolusite. Then K2MnO4. In the second step, what we will convert? K2MnO4 is converted to KMnO4. Okay, so these are the two steps. In the step one, what we will do, we will convert the pyrolusite ore into potassium manganate. In the step two, we are going to convert potassium manganate into potassium permanganate. Okay, so for each and every step, there are more than one possibility. There can be more than one possibility there. Okay, so let us see one by one. First, how to convert MnO2 into the K2MnO4. Okay, here MnO2, this is fused with fused with KOH. Either you can use KOH or you can use K2CO3. This can be fused with, but in presence of atmospheric oxygen. In presence of atmospheric oxygen, or if oxygen is not there, any oxidizing agent, but example like KNO3. Okay, so MnO2 is converted into K2MnO4 by fusing the pyrolusite ore with either KOH or K2CO3 in presence of either atmospheric oxygen or oxidizing agent like KNO3. Okay, so both reactions I will be writing here 2MnO2 plus 4KOH, okay, plus atmospheric oxygen. Then it will give you the 2K2MnO4. Here this color plays a vital role and you should remember it is a green color. It is which color? It is green in color, okay, plus 2H2O. What is the product? It is 2H2O. It is 2H2O is the product. Then apart from this, 2MnO2 plus 2K2CO3 plus O2. We can use K2CO3 also in place of the KOH. It will give you the 2K2MnO4, again same green color product, plus instead of 2H2O it will be CO2. Here it is CO3, therefore CO2. Here it is OH, therefore it is H2O. Okay, 2K2MnO4 plus 2CO2. Is this first step clear? In this step, we have converted pyrolusite ore into the K2MnO4. Where it is converted, K2MnO4 we have converted. Up to this, I think you have made a notes of it. Now we are going to the next part. We are going to the next part, that is second step. What we will do in the next step? In the second step we will convert the potassium manganate into the potassium permanganate. Okay, so step 2 purpose is to convert the K2MnO4 into the KMnO4. Okay, so how to say that it is oxidizing? Because it is converting from the plus 6 to the plus 7. You can find out the oxidation number. We are changing the oxidation number of the manganese from potassium manganate plus 6 to the plus 7 in the potassium permanganate. Okay, so here it is done in the different ways. First way is 2KMnO4, 2KMnO4 plus Cl2 plus Cl2 will give you the 2KMnO4, sorry, 2K2MnO4 plus it will be 2KCl. Here see 4 potassium were there, only 2 will be here, rest 2 will be removed along with the chlorine. Removed along with what? Chlorine. Okay. Next, second one is we can do it even with the atmospheric ozone. 2K2MnO4, 2K2MnO4 plus H2O plus ozone. Oxidation can be done even in the presence of ozone. Okay. Now it will give you the same 2KMnO4, 2KMnO4 plus 2KOH plus O2. Okay. Next, 2K2CO, K2MnO4, second step, third type. Step is second step only. We can convert manganate to the permanganate using chlorine, using ozone, using even CO2, 2CO2. Okay. Then it will be converted into 2KMnO4, 2KMnO4 plus MnO2 plus 2K2CO3, 2K2CO3. Okay. Even after these three methods are also not possible. Even we can do it electrolytically, electrolytic oxidation. What we can do? We can do the electrolytic oxidation also. Apart from these three methods, if we don't have any resources like chlorine, ozone or CO2, we can do it electrolytic oxidation even. Okay. So this I am eliminating and I will write for the electrolytic oxidation. Okay, so during oxidation, during the electrolysis, oxidation will be done at okay, sorry, in the third step I think I have written reactant side, it is K2MnO4 only. Okay, reactant side in the third step I think by mistake I have written as a KMnO4. So again I am writing 2K2MnO4. Okay, reactant in the third step of the CO2, it will be 3K2MnO4. Okay, so make a correction in the previous example. Now electrolytic oxidation. In the electrolytic oxidation, 2K2MnO4. This is reaction taking place at anode. Oxidation will takes place at which place? Anode. Okay. So plus H2O plus oxygen. Then this will undergo oxidation. What it will undergo? Oxidation. Then it will give you the 2KMnO4. Potassium manganate is converted to potassium permanganate. Other than this, oxygen will be liberated. Oxygen will be liberated and 2 potassium extra and 2 OH. 2 OH will be converted as a 2 KOH. Okay. Then apart from this, this is at anode. Next reaction at cathode. Cathode will be not with respect to this one. It will be only 2H plus. Okay. 2H plus will be converted to after gaining the 2 electron. Actually, this is 2 electrons only. 2 electron will give you the H2 gas. So during electrolytic oxidation, cathode liberates hydrogen and at anode we will collect our required product KMnO4. Our required product KMnO4 is collected at where? At anode. Okay, these are the preparation method of KMnO4. These are the preparation method of KMnO4. So during the preparation itself, I told you K2MnO4 is green color. Which color? Green color. But KMnO4 is a purple color. Okay. KMnO4 is what color? Purple color crystalline solid. Okay. Purple color. This color you should remember. Very important color. Okay. So what is the reason behind the purple color? Anybody remember that? Why KMnO4 is purple in color or why it is colored? Why potassium permanganate is colored? Who can send the answer? Okay, the first property of the KMnO4 is it is purple color due to charge transfer. The reason behind the color or color nature, not unpaired electron. Normal reason will be due to the presence of unpaired electron, but KMnO4 and K2Cr2O7. In both questions, what you will write? Reason will be charge transfer. From Charge transfer will be from what? Oxygen to metal, oxide to metal, and again metal to another oxygen. So that transfer will be taking place. Okay. So first topic and first property is it understood, colored in nature. Second property is fairly soluble in water. Okay. Fairly means highly soluble. Fairly means what? Highly soluble in water. Okay. First purple color crystal. It is a crystal also. Purple color also and crystal also. And third one, when heated alone. Third question is very important. When heated alone. When heated alone or with alkali. Or with alkali. Or with alkali. Alkali means it is base. Okay. It decomposes. It decomposes giving oxygen. So this is the main reason it is used as a oxidizing agent. It decomposes giving oxygen. Okay, this is a oxygen rich compound. Potassium permanganate is a oxygen rich compound. Okay, so 2KMnO4 gives K2MnO4, potassium manganate permanganate again converted back to potassium manganate. Then plus after K2MnO4 plus MnO2, MnO2 plus O2, oxygen will be liberated. So because of this oxygen, as it is a strong oxidizing agent, because of this oxygen only it is a strong oxidizing agent. Okay. Then this is the case where I told you alone, when heated alone. And the same thing we can try with the alkali also. Same thing we can try with the alkali also. 4 KMnO4, and alkali I am taking as a base, that is KOH. Okay. Again 4 moles of KOH will give you 4K2MnO4. 4K2MnO4 plus 2H2O plus O2. Again oxygen will be liberated. This proves that KMnO4 is a oxygen rich compound. Okay. In the preparation of oxygen also we have studied that it is a, what it is? It is a oxygen rich compound. Since oxygen can be lab preparation, it is which preparation? Lab preparation. Okay. So up to here, I think it is clear now. Now we will study some structural characteristic properties due to the structure. Okay, properties due to the structure in KMnO4. Here, central element must be manganese. Central element must be what? Manganese. And manganese is assisted with 4 oxygen. Okay. And if I remove the K positive, then there will be residual charge of -1. So I will keep the -1 instead of writing potassium. So this oxygen is eligible to form only single bond. Negatively charged oxygen can form single bond but contains 3 lone pair. Okay. Whereas this manganese with this oxygen can form double bond as there is no charge. Chargeless oxygen can form 2 bonds with 2 lone pair. This is also chargeless, 2 bond with 2 lone pair, 2 bonds with 2 lone pair. So here in the manganese, in the final, in the which state? In the last, it contains 7 electrons. So 7 electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All 7 electrons are involved in bond formation. Okay. Therefore, no unpaired electrons. No unpaired electrons. Therefore, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 bonds are there. Therefore, what will be the hybridization? sp3 hybridization. What is the hybridization? sp3 hybridization. And sp3 hybridization without lone pair. Without lone pair. So what will be the structure? Tetrahedral. The structure is which one? Tetrahedral, regular tetrahedron. Okay. But this is as per the NCERT I am telling you. Okay. But actually speaking, it cannot be sp3. Why? Because all 7 electrons are not in the valency shell. Are they in the valency shell? Electrons are in the 3D, then 4s. So we are using some orbital electrons from the D also, but here nowhere it is mentioned with the sp3. Okay. So that is latest information I am telling you. But as far as the examination is concerned, mains examination is concerned, NEET examination is concerned, AIMS examination is concerned, these are all examinations are based upon the NCERT information only. Those are old written as per the old based information. Okay. But for cracking those exams you have to follow according to that information only. But for latest information side, upgrading your knowledge according to the latest situation I am telling you, this is wrong. Some D element must be involved into that, because we are considering 7 electron and all the 7 electron are not from the S and P. They are from the D orbital. Okay. So if it is there in the advanced examination, they will give you the upgraded information in the comprehension, then they will ask the question. So in that condition, you should be able to apply the information available in the comprehension and able to answer the questions. Understood? So the syllabus is more important only for the mains and other NEET, AIMS, AFMC examinations. Okay. But for advanced, what they will give, if they wanted to ask some new thing, they will write in comprehension. Then that will be counted into the syllabus. Is it understood? So this is about the KMnO4 structure. Now, if you see the resonating structure. This lone pair can come as a pi bond, and this pi bond can go back as a sigma lone pair. Okay, so like this charge transfer will be takes place, which causes the colored nature of the KMnO4, even though unpaired electrons are not present. Okay, so like that, how many resonating structures are possible? Four resonating per structure. Why? Single bond can be here, next it can be here, next it can be here, next it can be here again, next it will go back to the same structure. So here in this structure it is single bond. In the next structure also it will be double bond. Okay, in the next also double bond, in the next also double bond. Okay, you can consider any one bond. Suppose here I am considering this bond, here single bond. In all other three structure it is going to be double bond. And total how many structures I am considering? Four structures I am considering. Okay, so total 7 by 4. Bond order is how much? 7 by 4. Bond order of Mn and oxygen bond is equal to how much? 7 by 4. Are you able to understand? So this is about the some properties of the KMnO4 related to its structure. Some general properties I have explained. Some which properties? Structural based properties explained. Okay, and chemical properties due to the oxidizing nature, already I have covered in a separate video in the different medium, and related equation you can practice it from the NCERT. Okay, if you feel that they are insufficient, some more examples you want, you can refer any book. Okay, oxidizing property. Now I am mentioning the uses. Okay, first it is used in the volumetric analysis. If you want to know any substance which is a reducing agent, there it is used as oxidizing agent. Depending on the quantity of KMnO4, we can find out that object concentration. Okay, and very famous Bayer's reagent, where it is used organic. In the organic, it is used for the as a Bayer's reagent to test the presence of multiple bond, unsaturation test. Okay, then in the manufacture of saccharin, in manufacture of what? Saccharin. Okay, saccharin, benzoic acid. Many substances are prepared by using the which one? KMnO4, saccharin, benzoic acid, oxalate. Okay, many compounds are prepared by using this. Okay, fourth use is detecting halides in qualitative analysis. Halide is present or not, chromyl chloride test. Likewise, KMnO4 also used for presence of halides, sulfides, and oxalate. Oxalate group is there or not? Okay, sulfite, sulfite. Okay, halide, sulfite, and oxalate, whether they are present or not, detected by using the KMnO4. Okay, and fifth one is used as a disinfectant in to kill the infection. Okay, disinfectant, and it is used as a germicide. Germicide specially it is used in the mouthwash. Okay, so nowadays based on the uses also they are asking. Just I am discussing the what do you call uh, Abhyas app questions. In the polymer, all students are studying only monomer name like that. But that question was framed by combining the uses and monomers, uses and polymers. So nowadays link up questions are there. So they will give you an idea. A substance which is found as a germicide in mouthwash, then they will add some reaction to that. Okay. So this is about the fifth use. Then purifying well water. Well water actually sometime after the many days there will be smell coming out it. Okay. So to oxidize that smell, then this is used as a oxidizing agent. KMnO4 is used as a oxidizing agent. Is it understood? Okay.